Yeah, so that's like Zach kind of talked about, like doing that drill. Like his emphasis on that drill is maybe I wasn't looking for curveball, but my body is still in position to attack it. I was looking for fastball. I landed maybe a little bit early, but I didn't lose my body, so I can still swing at the curveball. So um, we had a player on our team last year named Grant Buck who was like 6'6", power hitter, and I kept telling him, "Hey man, set your sights high. I don't care what pitch you're looking for. Set your sights high. These guys are trying to get you out down in the zone and breaking ball, fastball, all that. I don't care if you take that pitch. I don't care if it's a strike and you take that pitch. But by setting your sights high, those balls that are just a ball or two just below the zone, you're going to take. Or those ball. I mean, it sets yourself up to find the pitch that you're actually going to be able to do something with. I don't want you hitting the ball on the ground. I want you hitting the ball in the air. That's the type of player you are. So understanding the type of player you are, and then um, when you talk about like sitting, like you talked about like what your swing does differently. When you sit on a curveball, your timing should be timed up for a curveball. If
Yeah,
you, if,
mechanically, are you talking like a curveball is coming, Mike? So you're sitting on it going into the pitcher throwing it, or right when it comes out of his hand,
I
you
would say,
see
yeah,
the
like right
pitcher
as it
throwing
comes
it.
out of the hand. So maybe your lower body is a little bit disconnected from your upper
Okay,
body.
yeah. So then, yeah,
yeah,
Logan said it perfect. Sorry, go on, Logan.
all right. So that's landing a tad bit early, but that's still having your hands back, ready to fire, and that's still you haven't lost all your weight forward. If you're, I was kind of a collision hitter. I kind of maybe had like a pendulum load and forward. So if I got here and then here, and the curveball still hadn't quite got there, I was in no position to hit. Zach's talking about doing that drill where you load and you get back to square, and you're still there when the curveball arrives. Like you're still in position to hit. So
Yeah, it's more of
understanding
a
what kind of
sink.
swing,
It's
yeah,
more like a sink as you move forward instead of just to go forward, because a lot of probably 90% of kids under like 14 or 18 do this where they'll load. Some of them will load down into their backside correctly, but some of them, kind of like Logan talking about, they'll load back, which isn't wrong. But then as soon as they finish loading back, they'll load forward. They'll go forward so much they're on their front side, they almost lose the rotational aspect of their swing. And
and those
like
types of hitters should never be trying to adjust to hit a curveball, especially without two strikes.
yeah, because you're gonna be gone. You're not gonna have your ability to like I mean, you might be able to recognize it, but you won't have your strength into that baseball to make a good impact. But if you load, say you load down and back or whatever, and then you start making your forward move, but maintain that load in your back hip, back foot, whatever you need to think, and you're making a little bit of a downward move as you're going forward. You're not just lunging out, trying to get out. You're maintaining that load on your backside. It creates some more time for that ball to get there, and then you can hit it and deliver a 100% effort swing like you would on a fastball. Just gives you that little bit more of adjustability.
So are you trying to hit like a specific part of the ball, like the top or bottom of the baseball? You're trying to hit it to a certain part of the field? Like what's kind of going through your head?
Depends on the situation. I feel like if you're looking to attack, you're trying to backspin it. If you're in defense, then I mean it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to hit a line drive. But the thing is with like, kind of like Zach was just saying, the difference between a fastball and curveball is so drastic that you shouldn't be looking for either or you should be looking for both at the same time. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I had a hard time pulling the trigger on curveballs because I was so fastball dead set on hitting a fastball. So my timing was way earlier than what a curveball was going to be. Now, those guys that can hit a good or those guys that can hit a curveball or look like they're sitting on a curveball are almost always sitting soft. You're sitting hard or you're sitting soft. You can kind of break it down like that a little bit. The guy's got a slider, changeup, curveball. You can sit soft, and that allows you to be more on time for a breaking pitch. Your body's in better position. Um, but it's important to distinguish if I'm looking fastball here and I'm timed up for fastball. If I see a curveball, I have to shut it down. My body is most likely going to be out of position to attack it the right way.
So
Mm-hmm.
how does that change when you get to two strikes? Like your approach on curveballs.
Go ahead, Zach.
I think with two strikes, you got to keep it simple. Try and drive the fastball the other way, and then just trust that if they do throw an off-speed pitch in the zone, you're going to be able, by thinking fastball the other way, you're not only going to stay inside of it, but you'll catch it more out in front and hopefully hit it to center or left field. But if you're sitting on an off-speed pitch and the guy throws 92 plus and he dots you on the inside corner or throws a good pitcher's pitch, you're probably going to get frozen. because you're on time for the slower pitch. But if you're thinking to just see the fastball deeper and take it the other way, then you should still be able to react at the off speed.
Because
As to go,
mechanically, you should be shortened up with two
yeah,
strikes. So
yeah,
it should be less likely that you're going to get out front because you shouldn't be timed up for one pitch at that point. You should be mechanically capable of handling every pitch he's got at that point.
yeah. It obviously still happens, but you're trying to avoid the, oh, I got fooled. It's a loopy curveball. I'm way out on my front foot. You want to stay back, see that ball as deep as you can, and then last second get into it if you can. And then as to speaking to like hitting a curveball for me, like when I'm not sitting on it and I want to react and get to it, kind of like Logan just said right now, I want to be short to it. Even with the curveball, I don't want to get too big because the times I have gotten to a breaking pitch that was hung or left over the plate, I'm just trying to get straight to it as quick as I can. Honestly, fastballs too, but especially with curveballs, like I said earlier, they're already backspinning. How it comes out of the pitcher's hand for a hitter, that's already got the backspin. So I want to be short and just get through it. And it's easier to establish a good backspin. So that ball should take off. So I want to make sure when I see it, if I'm on time with it, let it go and just try and go straight to it. I'm not trying to lift it anymore because it's coming through a little bit deeper angle. I'm not trying to create that back here. I want to get it out in front. I'm naturally going to be swinging up and out in front of my body. Just catch it out in front and be short to it.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. There's a lot of kids, especially when they first start seeing curveballs, because it's coming in slower, they gear up for it and feel like, I've got more time and I can take a bigger swing on it. But to this point, like the ball's already kind of done half the battle for you. And I think you mentioned this in our notes for this, that you just want to work on barreling the ball up as best you can. Make the best possible contact that you can, and the ball kind of take care of itself. Like we've all seen guys hit home runs on curveballs where they haven't really taken super aggressive swings. They've just been kind of out in front, gotten the ball, in a good part of the zone to hit and just driven it the other way or, pull side or whatever it is. So that's because they didn't try to do too much on the pitch. If you try to crush curveballs, you're going to end up hitting it in a bad spot of the ball because your eyes are going to be moving. So just keep it simple. Like if you see it, recognize it, keep it simple. Try to drive the ball up the middle, try to make really nice contact, and don't overswing. I think that's the biggest thing. Do not overswing at curveballs.
Yeah. Don't underestimate the amount of, force you can still put into a ball, even if you just have your hands back and your body's gone. 2 strikes, sometimes that'll happen. You'll get fooled. Sometimes, you'll get fooled and be out in front, but you still got your hands back and you get a good look at the ball. So like, all right, I'm going to let it go. If you keep those hands back, you still got enough separation. You should be able to put some force into the ball.